All right, guys. So tonight I wanted to talk about inviting, and it seems like a topic that everybody just hates and loathes with all their heart. And for me, I'm going to kind of share a little bit about why inviting is so important, and then I'm going to kind of dig a little deeper with everybody. So, inviting. So, honestly, take it from me, you guys. I didn't start inviting to the business until I started coaching like March 2015, and I didn't start inviting to the business until November 2015. And so that's quite a big gap. And Rose would always mentor me and talk to me and told me exactly what to do and what to say. And I just never did it. I was just like, I don't need to do that. People will come to me. And for real, I missed out on so many people because I didn't invite that are maybe coaches now, or maybe they joined a different challenge group or a different team. And I missed out on so many people. And looking back at that, that was a huge mistake. That's one of my biggest regrets, is not, number one is not joining sooner, and number two is not inviting sooner. And inviting is so important because people like myself may not feel comfortable approaching you and telling you that they need help. And so I know I would have been one of those. And honestly, even like when you get leads from like the Success Club program, talking to them too, and I'm preaching the choir here because I need to get better at doing that too, because I was one of those free leads also. But basically, just inviting in general, like it's not something that, if it wasn't for Rose inviting me to her challenge group and inviting me to coaching, like right now, I think of our girls in our group too that are sitting there, and it's good to come back to them, even just the challengers. And like I've talked to like Megan and Morgan and Megan Ball like so many times about coaching because they are so consistent with posting. And like every time they're like, maybe next year, maybe in the new year and stuff. So I'm like, okay, like I keep coming back to them and I feel like a broken record, but you can't, because honestly, if it wasn't for Rose inviting me to coaching and being persistent about it, I probably wouldn't have done it. Just sitting in our challenge group and thinking, okay, I'm comfortable here, like I don't want to get out of the comfort zone. And who does? Like nobody does. So, and just thinking about that and knowing that I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Rose pushing me out of my comfort zone. And there's a lot of things that I've learned to do out of my comfort zone, including leaving my job, including, being where I am today, or including inviting you guys to the business opportunity or to our challenge group. And so just think of yourself like, hey, like, would I have actually joined a challenge group if it wasn't for Alicia bugging me all the time? Probably not. And I know it's so funny because you guys say I'm so persistent, but honestly, it just takes like that time and time again. And sometimes you have to invite people like years, you guys. Like Allie probably knows this more than anybody because this happened also like with Bailey Bruns. I invited her for years, literally years, until she joined, and now she's really not coaching anymore, but she's still like an active member and definitely still does her workouts and all that stuff. So it's just one of those things. And she had an amazing transformation too. And same with other girls. Like I have multiple girls in our group too who have been doing this like literally or coaching, or not coaching, but like Beachbody and Shakeology for years that I invited for years. And so it's so funny to see that. And when people sign up, you're kind of like, like, like you can breathe a sigh of relief when they sign up, because there's some people that you can just ask once and they'll sign up. And there's people where you have to come back and come back. And so I wanted to talk to kind of like what are the proper ways of etiquette tonight, and just kind of inviting and the different types of inviting and all that stuff. So one of the first things I want you to do is, I hope that you have a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, and I want you to write out your why, first of all. So why do you want to be a coach? So I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes, so just, write as quick as possible about your why. All right. So I'm going to share mine first, and then I'm going to ask everybody to go around. I don't know if Jess, are you there? I don't know if she's there or not. Okay. I don't know. Well, at least Kayla and Allie, you guys can go. So mine is obviously being at home with my family and continuing that. And obviously we're trying to start a family. So doing that, and then building our dream home, building a 6-figure income, and also growing a huge team and girl gang and having 5 coaches hit 5-star diamond or above. And so those are kind of like my why of like having this team of awesome girls and friendship. And so let's just go around. So I don't know, Jess, did you catch any of that?
I did.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so we'll just each kind of like take our turn and just share. So I don't know, Kayla, do you want to go? I'm just going like who's first on the icons.
Yeah, I can go. I want to pay off debt, help pay for our house, and then the business side is like definitely be star diamond, and just keep growing the business, be self-sufficient enough that I can definitely make it a steady income and I can be home when we decide to have kids and everything.
Awesome. Okay, Allie.
Can you hear me? I haven't used this computer yet doing Zoom.
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure. So the main reason why I'm coaching and kind of doing this is for my family. I have 2 daughters of my own and a stepdaughter, so just being the best I can for them. The coaching side, I'm not one that's looking for a full-time income off of it. I'm actually in school to be a nurse, and that's what my real dream is. But the kind of money side of that is to help pay for childcare, mortgage, and student loans eventually.
For sure. All right, Jess.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Mine is purely selfish. I am tired of being a full-time stay-at-home mom, and I'm looking for something for myself and mainly to take care of myself. And I shouldn't say that's selfish, because what I learn will be taught to my family, to my kids. Hopefully we all live healthier. And the goal is to inspire others. And I also just to get over my fear. So it's all about me this in 2019.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So, okay. So the next thing that I want to write down is I'm going to give everybody a few minutes again, is what are your fears that come with inviting? Not with the business, but with inviting. Like that word, like what freaks you out? Like what comes to the top of your head when you hear inviting or me wanting you to invite? So take a couple minutes and then we'll talk about it. All right. I'll go first. I'll let you guys still write, and then we'll just share again. Like we'll go, okay, let Allie, Jess again. Okay. So my fears are fears of failure, fears of rejection, and fears of getting told off. I know, right? All right, Kayla, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely afraid of being told off too. Just mainly like the initial like starting of a conversation, and then when it comes down to it, to not be salesy. And then like today, how in the heck can you do 70 invites? I mean, like daily, like how do you have that many people repeatedly, like every day? That amazes the hell out of me. I don't know how
I'll go into that. I'll go into that. So save that. If I don't answer that, I'll go into that. Okay. Allie.
Sorry, I was actually talking to somebody that I invited earlier this morning. I think, so this may sound like I don't have issues with sending the invites out. It's more like what to say when they say no, or what to say when they say yes, or how to follow up with them, I guess.
Okay.
And then, of course, just being told off or being unfriended or whatever like that.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll get to yours. So remember that as a question. Like write that down again too. And same with Kayla
Yep.
too, if I don't get to that. Jess?
For me, the big thing is like, who the hell am I to help people? Like, I'm not doing a good job as it is. So like, I don't know it all. I haven't figured it out myself. So who am I? That's where I get hung up. And I also get hung up on, how do you invite so many people? I can barely stand talking. I mean, there's days where like I'm touched out, I'm talked out. So I feel overwhelmed by the thought of having to communicate with more people. And I am also a chronic people pleaser, which means like I feel like I have to drop everything for everyone. So when I get a message, so yeah, those are big things. So then I'm just like, I can't invite because I can't follow through, and I can't take care of and please these people, and it's just a vicious cycle, and then I get overwhelmed.
Okay, so number 3. So we're gonna move on pretty quickly because we have a lot to cover. So I'll get back to all these things. Know that like we're making progress with all of these things. Okay, so number 3 is why. So ask yourself why to number 2. So like for me, like why am I afraid of fear of failure or rejection? Why am I afraid of getting told off? So ask yourself, why are you afraid of what you said or what your fear is? So why are you afraid, Jessica, of not being good enough, basically? You know what I mean? So write this down. We're making progress. I promise. This is working. All right, I'm going to go first. So I said, okay, this all stems back to that people pleaser that Jessica just said. So I said, I want to please people. And that just rings a chord because I'm scared of failure and rejection. I want to please people, and I don't want them to think badly of me. And I also want to be like that overachiever person and like achieve success and achieve greatness, but I don't like want that on my back, that I am this awful, nasty person. And you know what's so funny, you guys, is that like when you ask yourself, like sometimes the way to get to the root of the problem is just keep asking yourself why. And honestly, I can say that this all comes back to like my childhood, honestly. And like I had a lot of pressure on me as a kid. Like my mom always wanted me to get A's and B's in school, and then my grandma was the same way. And if I got like a C or a D, I was like, like, oh my gosh, like it was like a freak out moment. Like my mom was like a perfectionist and had that drilled in me, and my grandma was the same way. And so like it all comes back to my childhood, I really feel. And like we all have these fears for a reason, because they've been instilled in us since we've been little. And that's the biggest thing, like in your life. Like I've realized that even like with money or different things like that, like I'm just have these beliefs that have been instilled in me, and they're not even beliefs, you guys. They're just fears that have been instilled in me since I was little and growing up, and that's just how we were raised. And so it all comes back to that. So with that, I want to ask you guys again to share these, like fears and these why we're scared of things. And like I said, this is all going to help. I promise this is all going to come to realization in a minute. All right, Kayla.
My like fear to start the initial convo is just like, because I am so shy and I'm not an outgoing person, and I definitely need to overcome that. It's just hard, I guess, to overcome that. I don't know.
For sure. All right. So the biggest thing that I'm going to tell you is just write these questions down and we'll get to them. Like I promise, just keep reminding yourself, okay, like this is another question. So, because at the end, then I'll open it up. So, okay, Allie.
I think my why of not knowing like what to say or follow up is just not enough practice. I'm also like Kayla, I'm kind of an introvert. I like to lay low and be at home, and I've always kind of been shy, kind of like a childhood thing. I've always been, as a kid, I grew up in the country by myself. I didn't have siblings till I was like 5. So I'm not always an outgoing person, kind of shy.
About it. I'm not either. I didn't have siblings at all. So,
Right.
Jess.
All right, first I wrote down lack of confidence. I have no self-love, and that's been shocking to learn. Like, it's amazing how much I love other people, but like I need to work on that. I struggle with what will other people think of me, and why the hell does it matter?
I know.
Yes. So, and I'm a chronic perfectionist. I used to think that was one of my best qualities. I've learned that it's one of my limiting qualities. And I'm also learning I'm way better one-on-one. I don't enjoy writing. I don't enjoy typing. I could talk your ear off, but I'm horrible at writing. So, and like, I can feel people better if I'm face to face. I think that is a struggle for me.
I see you wearing your wedding ring, so that's awesome.
Not yet. No diamond yet.
Oh, that's not the diamond one. Oh, okay.
No.
I was gonna be like, when did that happen? Okay, so I'm sorry I'm making you write, but okay, so the next question that I have for you is number 4, is do you believe in the power of Beachbody and the coaching opportunity and the fitness opportunity? Like, do you believe in it? Like, do you believe in it? It should be a no-brainer, right? But sometimes we kind of let ourselves get in our head. So I'll talk a little bit about that and then I'll let you guys write. So I do believe in it, but I still have doubts. Like sometimes I get in my own head about my team, or sometimes I get in my own head about where I'm supposed to be. Like other coaches are getting ahead of me that have been coaching less time, and I've been here for almost 5 years and I'm still at the same rank that I was 4 years ago. And so like, I get into my own head a little bit about that, and I let comparison be like my thief of joy, basically. But in all reality, when it comes down to it, absolutely 100% yes. Because I've seen in my life, and when I let those thoughts come into my head, I'm like, okay, Alicia, like, let's get real here. Like, I was able to quit my full-time job because of Beachbody. I was able to stay healthier because of Beachbody. I was able to make as much as I did this year, or even more, match my full-time income this year with coaching. And just all the above things that I've been able to do. And I tell myself that and show myself that and say, wow, like, yes, absolutely. Like I couldn't imagine doing anything else, and so it's just one of those things that like when those negative thoughts come into your head, you have to replace them continuously with the positive. So with that, Kayla.
Okay, yes, I absolutely believe in the workouts, the products, all of it. And I mean, I was really skeptical from the beginning about it, but I believe in the business model of it too. I just don't feel like I am very good at sharing it. And like, I don't feel like I have a relatable story for people to like relate to.
Not true at all.
I haven't, I guess, figured out like what my story is, I guess.
And that all comes down to like confidence, honestly, and just like doing personal development and like pumping yourself up every day. Like it's just one of those things. Like before, even if I like this morning, I was like, oh, what am I gonna post about? You know, and so I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna post about my leggings that I was wearing. And you know, just different things or things that like you're gonna be inspired by and looking at quotes and things like that. So that's really like confidence and personal development. All right, Allie.
I definitely have confidence, and I believe in the power of Beachbody and coaching. I mean, I have been doing this, 3 months today. Earlier this week anyways, and I've definitely changed. I feel better. I have more confidence in myself.
Yay.
And I know that the coaching opportunity is great and it's out there and it works. I get scared about whether or not I can have a team of my own. Not that this team isn't amazing, but to eventually have my own team and to be able to take care of them and keep them on task.
Confidence. And honestly, it comes over time.
Yeah.
So, like, and I totally know like that's part of the plan too, is because like I'm not like I started coaching when Bonnie Engel started coaching, but Lord knows like I am not Bonnie Engel by any means, and so like he's gonna give you exactly what you can handle and when you can handle it. And so I know that like in like my mind, I always pray like I know God is preparing like more team members for us, that I know preparing me as a leader to lead them. And so that's one of the things that I really try to keep in mind. Yes, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I believe in it wholeheartedly. I don't believe in myself. It works. I don't work it. So that ties into everything I said before. You know, that's the problem.
All right. So we're going to head on to number 4. So number 4 is kind of like a yes and no question. So is your why, so is your number 1 stronger than your number 2? So it sounds weird, but is your number 1, is your why stronger than your fears? And that's basically it. Is your why stronger than your fears? And I just wrote in mine, all capital yes, because it is. For me to be able to be at home with my future kids, to be able to build our dream house, to be able to build a 6-figure income from something that I thought that I would never be doing, and to be able to growing a huge team, like that's amazing. So yes, absolutely, 100%. Kayla.
Yes, definitely. I definitely want to start moving forward in like the next stepping stones of our life, and I want this to be successful. I want it to work.
Allie?
Yes, I also wrote yes really big, and then under that I put kick those loans in the butt.
Yes.
Because I know I can do it.
Or like they say now, like, yes. Jess?
No, it's a tentative yes. I have so much fear, so I don't know where that comes from. I just don't believe that I can make it happen, and that's what I need to work on.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. So it's all confidence. So from here, we're going to kind of go on. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that confidence thing, and then we'll address that right away, just because that's kind of, we want to get on the stage. We want to get everybody, we want to have 4 yeses, or like how many ever people are going to watch this. So the biggest thing is personal development. Like, I can't stress it enough. Like, be absorbing it like a sponge, you guys. Like, if you're not listening to it in the shower, be listening to it in the shower. And I mean, like, taking a glass and putting your cell phone in it, because that helps, like, bring out the sounds, you know, if you have your phone, like, in a glass, like, in a drinking glass, and it helps make it louder. And then you can, like, play podcasts, play old National Wake Up Calls, be listening every single Monday to the National Wake Up Call. I kind of got out of my rhythm, but I told myself in January, I'm, like, recommitting again to the National Wake Up Call, just because we were gone and Christmas and everything happened. So in January, I'm 100% going all hands on deck for the National Wake Up Call again. Because we're not above that. That's, like, our company call. Like, you know, if Danielle Natoni can listen every single week and these top coaches, so could I. And so that's just, like, the tough love. Like, you gotta listen every single week. And if you're like, oh, I'll listen tomorrow, like, have it in your planner, like, at a designated time that you're going to listen to the National Wake Up Call. Be listening to podcasts. Melanie Mitro is amazing, and she has a podcast, you guys. Like, she's the top coach for the past, like, 4 or 5 years. I'm gonna say 5 years because I'm sure she'll get it again this year. Be listening and absorbing that. Like, Lindsay Matway, I think it was in her, like, vision board planning group or whatever that I was in. I think it was this. Don't quote me on this. I listened to a lot of Lindsay Matway. But anyway, she said she, like, as a new coach, she was always listening to personal development, whether it was doing laundry, cleaning, cooking, in the shower, driving. Like, she didn't even listen to the radio anymore. And that's how I was. When I would commute, I listened to podcasts or Audible books. Like, have that, you know, just as your, you know, be addicted to that stuff. Be addicted to growth, because if you're not growing, you're dying. And that is so true. If you're not going to grow with us, like, what are you doing? You know, like, where are you going? Like, if you don't know where you're going, your team isn't going to know where you're going. Your challengers aren't going to know where you're going, and everybody's just going to be lost. And I'm not here to lead the lost. I'm here to lead the motivated and to lead the people that want to do this with me, you know. And like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And that's so true. And I want the horses that are there that have their heads all the way in the water. That's what I want, you know. And I don't want the horses that are like, this water is good, you know, or whatever, and just to stick their tongue in it. Like, I want your whole head to be in the water. And so that's the same with the personal development. Like, stick your whole head in the water. And honestly, inviting is so scary. So 2 things. So there's 2 different types of invites. So number 1 is the challenge group invite. And then number 2 is the coaching invite. And basically, I want you to master the challenge group invite before you move on to the coaching invite. Because I feel like the coaching invite, you have to be confident to do that. You have to know that, like, my team is awesome, and I love them, and I love what I do, and I love everything about this. I love that I'm inviting you. And so you have to be confident. And so getting confident with the challenge group invite is the way to go. And honestly, you guys, the only way to get confident with inviting is to do it, and do it all the time. No matter if you are, like, not wanting to show up for your business that day because you feel like crap, or because you and your husband are fighting, or whatever, because somebody forgot to pick up the kids, whatever, you show the F up. Okay? And so that is just how it is, you guys. And that's how you overcome your fears. You just have to dive in. And this is a funny story. So we were in the Bahamas. We always wanted to go in the pool because, like, it was hot, but we would dip our toes in the pool, and the pool water, I'm not even kidding you, it felt like it was 30 degrees. It was so cold. Like, it was so cold. And the only way to get used to it is we would go, like, on a slide, you know, or something where you just, like, you'd be in the water, you know. And so that's the only way to get used to inviting, is to just dive in and do it, not to just dip your toe in, like I said, or the horse, like, this is good water, you know. Or this is the way to just dive your whole head in and go do the invite. Okay. And I'm sorry if I'm being crazy, but I'm like pumped up because I want 2019 to be all of our year. Okay. And so 2019 is going to be amazing, but to make it amazing is you have to do the work. You have to do the invites. And so I'm just going to set a number for each of you to do these many invites per day. And I'm not talking about coaching invites. I just want challenge group invites. We can add on coaching later. But I think 10 invites per day is really great. And I want you to show up 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, or whatever that means. If it's more comfortable for you to work Saturday through whatever is it, Tuesday, that would be, or no, Thursday, then that is totally fine. Okay, so 10 invites per week. Okay, I'm gonna we don't have much time left, so I just kind of want to open it up to like the questions that I kind of said that I would talk about. I know 70 invites was the one that I got from Kayla. So how I do 70 invites is honestly keeping track of people who are following me on Instagram. So basically how I follow more people is by reaching out, and I cold message invite on Instagram. That's just what has worked for me, and it still works for me. Instagram is the only place that I will cold message somebody and invite them. And I also wanted to talk about the actual invite of what I say. So every day it's something different. So like today I said like, hey, let's say just, hey Kayla, how was your Christmas? I don't know if this will be for you, but I just wanted to invite you to my January boot camp. Would you want to join us? And I just made it really short and sweet. Or, hey Kayla, thanks for the love on my picture. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to invite you to my January boot camp. Would you want to join us? That's all I say. And every day is kind of a little bit different. And then I just take that and copy and paste it. So that way everybody kind of gets the same message. And then every day is kind of whatever I'm feeling that day. If I'm feeling like being short and sweet like I was today, then that's what I'm going to be. And that way it doesn't sound like you're, using the same invite every single day or every single time that you're inviting, because I truly believe it should be different. It should be what you're feeling. Invite the way that you would want to be invited. And that's why I would want to be invited. Is if somebody's going to invite me, like, they better hurry up and do it, So I'm not going to sit around and just chit chat to them all day. Like, that's how I am. So, and I heard that from like a call from one of the, like our regional leadership call or whatever. And this girl said, like, invite the way that you'd want to be invited. And that just really strung a chord with me. So doing that. And then how I get to 70 people is, like I said, a lot through Instagram. And then also inviting the people that like my posts. And yes, if I invited them in October or November, I invite them again. I make sure I invite that person once a month. So even if the last time I invited that person, like say, Kayla, let's say I last invited you in November, I'm going to invite you again because maybe you saw my message and you didn't respond, or maybe you got busy, whatever, maybe we talked about it, but I'm going to make sure I invite you again because you might say yes. And so that's how to keep track, like just keep on inviting. Like sometimes, like I said, those people take years, years for you to actually sign up. And so keep at it. Like, it's not being like, icky or whatever. You're just being like, okay, and one of these days, if they don't want you to message them anymore, they'll let you know about it. They'll say, hey, like, take me off your list or whatever. And you can even ask them if they want that. So that's how I get like 70 people. And then I also go through like old birthday messages, and I just kind of like have a lot of backup right now because we're also gone on vacation. So I could have done 100 invites today or like 500 even, and I'd have still been okay because I have people like from over a month ago that I like talked to, like new people on Facebook and birthdays, and then Instagram and new followers and all the likes and things like that. Also, people who watch your stories, great people to also invite. All right. What was your other question? Or Allie, do you remember what yours was?
I think the only well, you already kind of talked about practicing and doing it, and you'll get better at it. The only thing was, can I run a team and be successful?
Okay, yes. And so like I said, that just takes time. Like lots of leadership books, like lots of Dave Ramsey, or not Dave Ramsey, sorry, John Maxwell is really great with leadership, and that just takes time. Like, honestly, I think like God just prepares you for leading a challenge group first, and like having, 3 people and then 10 people on your team and then 20 people in your downline, and he just kind of prepares your heart for all that. And so just kind of, by like growing, over time, like that's what, you're going to be prepared for that. So yeah, I would say start out with 10 invites a day. Does this all kind of make sense, or is it like, okay, awesome. So I'd say start out with 10 invites a day, and we have like less than a minute, so I'm gonna talk really fast. And then we'll also hop on next week, and then we'll kind of review about like where we're at. So we'll kind of talk a little bit more about inviting, because I feel like inviting is this huge thing that like nobody like does it or gets it. Like I'm trying to like put the kibosh to that. So we're going to go into 2019 and inviting like a boss. All right, guys, we'll see you next week, Thursday at 8. All right, we'll see ya.